Hey guys, this is Chuck, a buddy of mine. He's the one who's responsible for everything to do with the custom metal work. So that goes for all the inner fender wells, the tonneau cover for the transmission, a bunch of pieces in the back, and he was also responsible for the fabulous Chevy bead rolled pieces. So
sure was.
Here's Chuck. We'll get started on the video showing the process of the intensive labor. Okay.
All right, so I got the passenger side done. Now we got the driver's side back here. So I got this flexible shape pattern that I use to get the more or less the blank that I've got to make, and I've added some material. There's going to be, Zeus fastener seam along here, and once I get this all tacked down with magnets, I'm able to trace out where I have to focus my hammer blows. So that's what I'm doing here right now, and there's a lot of stretching going on here. So it's going to be several cycles of smashing it with the hammer and then running it and planishing it through the English wheel. The last panel I got done in about 24 hours. I'm going to see if I can shave some time off of this one. I'll see what I can do.
Inner fenders are coming along. This side's pretty much done. I'm gonna put the Zeus fasteners in there. Chuck's wrapping that up. This side, it's been all fabricated. We knew we were gonna run into an issue with the power steering reservoir, so in order to get around that, Chuck's building a custom box that has to be cut out, contoured, pretty time consuming and finicky, but it'll be pretty slick when it's all finished. There's the other panel. So he's just trying to determine kind of where it's going exactly, and then it'll get welded on and wrapped up. All right, Chuck's about to cut into his, I don't know how many hours you put into this fucking panel.
Too many to talk about.
Okay.
But that's all cut to profile, and that will eventually get welded into there. But before I do that, I gotta cut that hole out.
All right, and I think the plan is to cut this out and then turn flanges and then weld it.
Yeah, so the innermost line is my cut line, and then I've got a bit of a border there. It's kind of my safety zone, really. I'll see what happens.
All right, go for it. All right, Chuck's got the inner fender wells all wrapped up. The only thing left is a couple minor things, a little bit of welding inside. But as far as the fab work goes, they're complete. This is where the reservoir goes, power steering pump. And then there's room for the pulley right here. So this essentially fits right in that nook. And then right where the clecos are, there's actually Zeus right here. Chuck got them. Zeus fasteners. So those are gonna get, what did you call it, Chuck? Dimple dyed?
Yeah, so these will be recessed, so the heads of the fasteners finish flush, and they're a quarter turn fastener, so there's a little retaining spring underneath. So you pop them in, kind of push them down a bit, give them a quarter turn, and they'll snap in place. Jai opted for the nice fancy chrome plated ones,
Yep,
so they'll look super slick on the gloss white finish these are getting.
Good. So yeah, I mean, I can't even tell you the work Chuck put in here. It's been insane. But this is one off. This engine bay is going to be completely shaved. This side, everything fits absolutely perfect. Yeah, so thanks to Chuck. He'll just wrap up some minor stuff, and then I'll get these powder coated right before we throw it back together. Okay, here's an update. Whole back end's taken apart completely. Everything's labeled for colors. Everything's what's getting painted and powder coating, white, black. So this is all good to go. Inner fender wells, as you've seen, completely finished. That's all taken apart. I am now in the middle of disassembling the whole front. The interior is disassembled. And then, what do I do next? Trailer, I got my trailer here. All my parts. Everything's labeled in here for paint. So it's just the front end's got to come apart. I got the bed lift box area. It's completely grinded, built, ready for paint. Yeah, and the only thing left once you get the front end off is the cab. I've already started kind of welding, patching holes. So firewall next, finish all this up, pop the glass out, put the cab in the trailer, take that up. Today is November, what is it? 12th, and it's leaving on December 12th to go get painted. So 1 month from now. But in the meantime, here's, I'm completely organized. Black powder coat parts are all ready to go. Everything's been cleaned. All my stuff's labeled and organized. Ignition parts, fan and rad parts, emblems, actuators, exhaust, all the Dakota digital, all the mounts, lights, engine harness, you name it. It's all my CVS parts, gas tank parts, interior paint and powder parts. So it's happening. That's a live update on what's going on. I'm just gonna pull the column out. That's it. So next video, you should see some work I'm gonna do on the cab. Will be the last video and shipping it off to paint. All right, brief update on the interior. What a nightmare. You think this might look okay? Yeah, they're in there finally. Looks good. That's not the case. When I powder coated these, because you can't buy them in white, like I swear you, they're in plastic, only big ones. You cannot buy them in white. So I powder coated them all. We smacked a couple in, they seemed to work, and then they started stress cracking around them and chipping at the back and behind. So I was like, okay, well, I'll try and paint them instead. Maybe if I scratch them all up, sand them, and then mask all this off, pop them in, hammer them in place, and then prime them and paint them. I did that. That was all great. But then when they got hammered in, they were so tight that I tried to lightly cut around the paper just to pull it off, and some of it just kept getting stuck inside there. Like I couldn't get all the paper out. And then it started to smush kind of in the side, and then got a little bit of white paint all over. I ended up giving up. I cut them all out. And then I'm back to square one again. So I've been super delicate trying to hammer them in, and I did pretty good. Like you can see there's no cracks or anything. And then what I did is I painted the back to seal it in so it won't try to chip. But if there's anything on the truck so far that I'm like, you know, not like super happy with, it's this part. But I'm not giving up, because that's what it shows. That was my idea. And I even want to push harder now, because yeah, you can't buy these in white. So I'm gonna go for it. It's still working out. I still had to kind of fudge in a little bit of leather paint, mix different colors to kind of touch up some of the areas. I'm gonna make sure it's as good as I can get it. But so anyway, yeah, that's some of the issues you run into, but I gotta persevere here. Interior update. There's the panels. Those are all done. Armrests. Turn out really nice. And this is the vintage air that goes under the dash. That's gonna cut out the squares where the vents go. These are all the knob and controls all go here. This is the little one on the driver's side. It's all wrapped good. So those are done. And obviously you've seen me putting all the eyelets in so she can finish off the seat. Last of the update, retro sound kick space panels for the 47 to 53 Chevys. I got the retro sound stereo in there, so those will look good. They fit right at the kick space, right in here. I'm gonna get those wrapped in vinyl gloss, so they match the paint on the dash. Nice black speakers will be in there. And then if you've seen my past videos, you would have seen the 6x9s go in the back on the Alice fabrication panels. And I'll have a 10 in a custom box with an amp, some type of display for the stereo, because the seat lifts up. So I'm gonna do some type of display in here. It'll be all carpeted and stuff. I haven't fully figured that out yet, but I know there'll be a 10 under there, 6x9s and 6.5s with the retro sound stereo. So that's the interior update. Yeah, that's it.